And the obesity pill race. Mizuho healthcare strategist Jared Holz joins us here on the set. You know, beyond just the patients being nauseous, investors are too today, down 42%. Is this it? I mean, are they done? Is Viking Therapeutics out of this race for the obesity pill?
I don't think they're done. I mean, it's a big setback for sure. It's going to come down to what the next trial looks like, what the dosing is, but this sort of discontinuation rate, when you have monster companies that are ahead of them, I think that's really the point. You've got the largest, most well-capitalized pharmaceutical companies that are 2 to 3 years ahead. I think that's really why investors sour to the data.
So if you were the CEO of Viking, I mean, do you go back to the drawing board on this and figure out the dosage, or you say, hey, we got to play somewhere else? We're 2 or 3 years behind, like you just said. Can they catch up?
I think they've invested too much to call it quits at this point. I mean, these biotech companies resurrect themselves time and time again, and sometimes you pull a rabbit out of a hat. Maybe the low dose winds up being tolerable, and therefore it does become a maintenance therapy for people that have already gotten on the shots and have lost weight.
So obviously we talked about the stock price getting hit so hard today. Does this make them look attractive as a target for a takeover?
I would doubt it. I mean, I don't think you can buy the company at this stage of the game unless you are sure that a lower dose oral obesity pill that they put out with is probably going to be less than 10% weight loss is going to be a big product. I just feel like any pharma company that would dare to do this now would get punished for it.
So one player off the board, does this strengthen Novo, who's been, we've talked about it with you, you have not been a fan, you have been right. Does that help them in any way?
Well, I think investors are starting to come back to oral Wegovy because of the profile, and especially since the orforglipron data from Lilly didn't look as good as we all thought it would. So it's kind of like the competitive setbacks have put Novo in a better light. They've kind of benefited from everyone else. So, yeah, I think Novo looks a little bit better.
And so combine that with the news that we've had this week on essentially the DTC through GoodRx, and, you know, and maybe this pressures Lilly a little bit on price. So $4.99 is for cash-paying customers. Does that change anything? Do you worry about Lilly in the context of margin because of that?
Not really. I mean, the companies have basically both addressed price proactively, right? You see Novo continue to lower price. Lilly has lowered price. They were the first company to go direct with their own offering. And so I think they're essentially both around $500 a month now, give or take. So to me, it doesn't impact Lilly as much.
So just going to Novo's oral drug, which actually had greater weight loss, right? But this not being able to eat for 30 minutes, how gigantic or not is that for someone who would be interested in an oral drug versus what Lilly has at a lower percentage weight loss, but you don't have that?
Right. Not a huge deterrent. I mean, the whole point of the pill is to not eat anyway. So when I look at it, I think the biggest issue for Novo is going to be actually making the drug. You know, a lot of ingredients go into these pills. Lilly has an easier opportunity from that standpoint. The actual regimen of taking the pill, not as big of a factor for me.
So obviously I'm not a doctor, forgive me, but try changing the dosage of the pill. Does that really matter? I mean, would that make you less nauseous than something like an injection? I mean, how big of a differential is that? Yeah,
well, first of all, there seems to be a worse adverse event profile with the pills versus the injectables. That's what we've seen from all of the companies so far. So if patients are looking for what they feel are going to be the best products from a tolerability standpoint, the shots at this stage of the game are better. The orals might just wind up being more maintenance therapy. I think the assumption that a lot of investors have on this Viking data and also with Lilly is if you go down dosage, the efficacy or the weight loss is not as good. So what's the point, or you're going to have to, figure some other way to lose weight.
Before we let you go, what would be your best trade idea if you want to bet on the weight loss space?
And this isn't Shadur and a number one for Micah.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry.
I like Lilly on pullbacks. I mean, that's kind of like the trade that I think continues to work. Every time there seems to be a setback there, I still think when you look at their pipeline and the opportunity, plus how well capitalized they are, they can do a variety of things strategically, more M&A in other areas. I think Lilly's the one that you want to buy for a trade on any weakness.